This is Ben Templeton, and he has mastered the art of running a $10 million residential building company.
For the last 15 years, I've run Templeton Construction in the South Island of New Zealand, in a wee small town called Twizel. Middle of nowhere, but it's pretty picturesque, lakes and mountains sort of thing.
He has an accountable team, both on-site and in the office.
2 full-time office ladies, one mainly solely accounts, another office lady too that pretty much does a lot of my pricing now, client liaising, everything else, keeping on top of everything inside the office. I still come back and oversee the final pricing. And my main job is, run the guys on site, still chuck the nail bag on for about an hour every now and then just to show that I've still got it.
And most importantly, he's hitting the industry standard golden ratios, meaning he's profitable and has great cash flow.
We're now branching into a couple other new towns at the moment as well, which happen to be on the way to where our family farm is. So we've probably got 2 years worth of work through in Central Otago, but getting the lifestyle to go with it. Isn't that why we all go to work every day, to get that bit of freedom,
Sounds awesome. How'd he get here? Well, today in the business breakdown, we're going to do exactly that. Pull the curtain back on what Ben has put in place to allow him to achieve these results. But I should warn you, it hasn't always been like this. Ben, like many others, have struggled massively while he's been on his journey. He's faced challenges that might be all too familiar to yourself as well. He was constantly on the phone being pulled back onto site with questions from his guys. He was working exhaustive hours in the office in the evenings, on the weekends, wasn't seeing his young family. Worst of all, he was taking on work at low margins just to keep him and his crew busy. But he's managed to overcome a lot of this and has actually been able to grow predictably and profitably. Now, when he started all of this, growth seemed ridiculous. He didn't want to take on more work because more work meant exactly that, more work for him.
I'd say over 50% of my staff now are well over 5 years with me. Pretty much all I've got to do now is just finalise payroll. I also get daily cash flow reports, which I can see on as they change in variation too. So at any one stage without even having to open my phone, I know I can come here and ask where we're sitting, what stages we need to meet to keep our cash flow good.
So Ben's success can be traced back to 3 core areas: sales and marketing, team and systems, numbers and pricing.
As soon as someone signs on that dotted line, before we could be months away from breaking ground, but the signs are up. And then it gets people thinking like, oh, has he put another one there? And now we get that all the time. They're like, how many actual houses have you got on the go? Like everywhere we go, we see your sign. I'm like, yeah.
Without a well-oiled sales and marketing machine, you risk running out of profitable projects. You risk getting to the end of a job, poking your head up and getting that end of project scaries. Holy moly, where's that next job coming from? I better just price all this stuff, reach out to a bunch of past clients and see if anybody's got any work for me. That is the old way of doing it, and you cannot rely exclusively on word of mouth to grow a business into the future.
So we're sort of those people that within our community and within our team and that they can actually call upon, whether it be, especially with what we've gone through probably recently, mental well-being, help, advice. If something happened in the middle of the night, they know they can call me and I'll drop whatever I'm doing to help them out.
Without team and systems, you lose accountability and control. The weight of all of the projects and the clients pile up on your 2 shoulders, and they consume your time and your energy. It's not sustainable, it's not resilient, and it's not something you can do long term. For many people, a couple of years at most, and they'll hit a glass ceiling of around 1.5 to 2 million bucks.
We'd only have probably 6, maybe 7 progress claims for a job. I think we've got our that on to average about 15 to 16 now. And then we've got 5 days on everything. Doesn't matter what it is, there's no, hey, the 20th of the month, it's 5 days.
Now, without numbers and pricing, there's no profit. Without team and systems, there's no time. And without sales and marketing, there's no projects, no future. No ability to actually fly the plane with a clear dashboard, knowing exactly where each project was at and knowing the most important number in the business: per project margin. What is your margin, your gross profit?
So a 15% deposit and then 15% again on floor down, and then we should go 15% on frames up. So we're already at almost 50% of the build cost and we haven't even got the roof on.
How did Ben turn this framework for building businesses into a step-by-step game plan for himself? Well, he focused on 5 game-changing steps. He got rid of some of the repeating and recurring tasks that freed his time up to work on high margin activities. He worked out his payment structure to improve cash flow and massively reduce stress. He got financial visibility on his flow and on his work in progress and per project margins. You know exactly what his numbers were because numbers are the language of business.
You've got to have some goals too, set for your forecasting and everything else too. I myself used to get always stuck in the way of just, if there's money in the bank, we're doing all right. That can change pretty quickly. You've got to have some sort of forecasting. You'll still get a bad month, but knowing your next month, you've got the cash flow to cover it. That gets rid of those sleepless nights, the sweating in your sleep.
He created a comprehensive A to Z of operations so that everybody on the crew knew exactly who was responsible for what and how a project flowed through the business. He built out a bulletproof sales and marketing pipeline so that he could fill the company with profitable projects that they specialized in.
Take on renovations, wee jobs, and that didn't work for us. We just had to pick out what we enjoyed doing most, like just pumping out some really nice middle-end houses.
What Ben did was he generated a scorecard for his office person so that they know what their responsibility was to report up to Ben. It helped to identify where he was making money on a project and where he was losing money on a project. It allowed him to work on the high margin activities because with better information, he was able to make better decisions. So he made sure that he changed his payment structure to improve his cash flow, and he got real visibility on his work in progress, cash flow, margins, and profits. It meant that he was able to not just reinvest into the business, but also take money out and be profitable as the business continued to grow.
This is our niche, we do it well, we're the best at doing it in town. Let's just nail what we're doing and do it even better, so there's a bigger profit, you know.
Building out a pipeline of profitable projects is all about getting your sales and marketing sorted, making sure that you have a good leads coming in and a good process to convert them as well. He was able to dominate the town with a really clear strategy that only included a handful of key things to help to identify for his clients answers to the big concerns that they have. Who are you? Who's your team? How can I trust you? How can you help me specifically? Ben answered all these questions and all these concerns through his marketing and was able to really nurture prospects through the sales pipeline so that they weren't just choosing him on price, but instead because he was the best builder for them.
Getting advice off not one lot of people, but finding advice off, and you don't have to take everything as always got told that, but if you can pinpoint some things off every different person you talk to, and a good way to start out too is just to be a listener. Listen to a lot of people around you. You know, never get jealous, but actually look up to people that are doing well and ask yourself, well, how are they doing well? Without being jealous of them, go, how the hell did they get there? What do I need to do to get there too? You know.
Hey, if you've enjoyed this business breakdown, then hit the like and subscribe button, join our free Facebook group. There's heaps of resources there to help great builders build great businesses. We specialize in residential, and if you do custom homes, extensions, renovations, additions, reclads, this is the community for you. Here's to great builders building great businesses. We'll see you next time. Cheers.